Radio feed.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pick Six Podcast. It's your boy Musa. I'm here with my guy Ty. How you doing today?
Doing good. How about you?
Doing good, man. Sorry for the late start time. Had to push some things back, get some stuff situated for the episode. But nonetheless, man, we are here. Preseason is coming up. Thursday night is going to be or Thursday evening should be the first preseason game. No more lonely Thursdays. Football's hit back. I'm excited. And we got a good episode for you guys. So if you're watching, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on the upcoming season. But we got a special one today, man. We're going to talk about our top 5 all-time wide receivers as well for these respected universities: Ohio State, LSU, Georgia, Alabama. There's been a lot of discussion which university, which college has his wide receiver use. So we're going to give you guys our top 5 all-time list. So it's just me and Ty today, but I do have clips and pesos list for the college receivers, so we're going to show their list as well. But I want to get into your thoughts, Ty, on the upcoming season, your excitement, what you want, looking forward to towards the preseason coming up next week, things of that nature, before we get into the list.
I'm just ready. I'm just ready for some football. You know, that's pretty much it. There's a lot of interesting teams and a lot of interesting faces, I would say, on new teams that I'm kind of excited for. Kind of want to see how Justin Fields does in New York, because this is probably like the only year where he actually has something to really work with, and this is probably his last chance to really be a starter in the league, which is a sad thing to say, but it is the truth. Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
That's gonna start off the season. So if they get that extension, by all means, I think they need to do it. But if not, there's a lot of places he could go, and that can change a lot of, records that we already predicted.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a little scare with Justin Fields during training camp. Luckily, it was just a toe, nothing worse. But I agree with you. I believe this is his last chance. Unfortunately, it's crazy to say that with these young quarterbacks. But this is also one of his best teams that he's been on, where he has a legit chance in a shot, where he doesn't really look over his shoulder in regards to being benched at his position. So I'm excited to see what he does. Terry McLaurin's another one, obviously, with the contract information and the holdout. Although there was just news that he has a ankle injury recently, so that kind of stirs the pot up as far as that whole contract situation goes between him and the Commanders. Hopefully they get a deal done, because I just want him, Jay Daniels, and that crew to flourish this season. I think they have a real shot to come out the NFC. But before I continue, Fernando's with a comment. What up, Fernando? Appreciate you joining the show, as always. Yeah, so those are some of the things I'm excited about. I'm actually excited to see what the Patriots do. I'm really more excited about Demario Douglas. I think he might have a breakout season this year for the Patriots, especially if he's going to be in the slot a lot more or out wide, depending on the schemes Josh McDaniels schemes up for them. But all in all, I'm excited to see what the Patriots do. There's a lot of hype and excitement around the team with Vrabel being around and the pieces they brought in, obviously Stephon Diggs and the crew. So I'm excited to see what they do. And the last team I'm thinking about will probably be actually your Rams. I'm excited to see what Matt Stafford does with Devontae, Puka, Jared versing that crew on the defense. And I'm excited for your team long term to see what they do regarding the quarterback position, because it looks like it's been reports saying that they have Arch Manning on their radar potentially too. But the problem with that is you're going to have to be a bad team to get Arch Manning unless you're willing to trade pieces. So all in all, I'm excited to see what that dynamic is with the Los Angeles Rams. Moving right along, we're going to go right into the wide receiver list all time for college. Let's share my screen. So here it is. Let's make this bigger. Let's go 170. Perfect. So here's the list right here. What you see on the screen is 4 rows. Myself, Ty, Peso, Clips, all gave our top 5 in order. All-time receiver list. We're doing Alabama, LSU, Ohio State, and Georgia, which you will see here at the tabs I have each year. Each of them is color-coded by their school, but I also blacked out the names so we can do a reveal one by one. So obviously, Ty will only know his list up here based on the names, but he doesn't know everyone else's list. I only know who everyone released. So here's the list. First one, we have Devonta Smith, Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy at 3, Julio Jones at 4, Calvin Ridley at 5. The next person's list, we have DJ Hall at 5, making the only appearance on the list. So shout out to DJ Hall. Amari Cooper, Devonta Smith at 3. Some tight end love. I was expecting to see tight ends because I thought we was doing receivers, but tight end, we'll make some exceptions because there's another list that has a tight end on it. I realized too, but Ozzie Newsome is on this list and Julio Jones is at 1 to round it off. Next, we have Devonta Smith, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, and Jerry Jeudy, and then Julio Jones, Jerry Jeudy, Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper, and Devonta Smith. So, Ty, just looking at this list, man, everyone's list, obviously you know which one's yours. What are some of your thoughts on this list? Any surprises to see?
Honestly, Ozzie Newsome, I understand, but I think, I don't know whose list that is. That I'm honestly like, you can see everyone else's list, and you can see that some people are interchangeable, blah blah blah. Some people are going over here, but whoever's B's list, I need them to explain thoroughly. Because I'm not mad about the DJ Hall, Ozzie Newsome getting love. But Julio Jones, number 1, based off just being Alabama, not even on the Falcons, that has to be your favorite wide receiver for you to put him at 1, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, man. Me being completely honest, I was surprised to see some of the names. It was dope to see DJ Hall, like I've said earlier. I was shocked to see Ozzie Newsome make the list. But yeah, I thought, consensus would have had Devonta Smith at 1, considering the season he had and being the only Heisman receiver in the university, let alone there's only a handful of receivers that have won that award at that position. So I thought that was a given for him to be 1 potentially. But I like the change of pace, if you like to call it that. I don't agree with Julio being 1, just because what Amari Cooper and Calvin Ridley did at Bama was special. And I don't, and it's tough because I can understand when you look at the player. I mean, what Julio did there was phenomenal. Especially it was more runs heavy centric when he was there. But if you know Bama's teams is always gonna have a running game regardless of who's that receiver. Which I think Smitty being able to do what he did at that time stands out because that was one of the few times Bama was more of a air raid type of offense. So without further ado, Let's reveal the first name. And we got Ty. This is Ty's list here. Devonta Smith, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, third, Julio Jones, 4, and Jerry Jeudy at 5. I'm not going to waste no time. We're going to get to the list that Ty wants to know whose list this is. And it's Pesos. Peso has Julio Jones, Ozzie Newsome, Devonta Smith, Amari Cooper, and DJ Hall at 5. So now seeing whose list that is, does this make more sense to you now, Ty?
Yeah, and if you had to tell me match a name to that list, my first guess was Peso.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm gonna need to hear the argument for Julio Jones and Ozzie Newsome over Devontae Smith.
Absolutely. We're gonna definitely spin back around on these lists in a future episode so we can have a conversation with Peso and Clips when they join and hear their thoughts on why they chose the names that they chose for their respective lists. Next, we are going to reveal my list. I have Smitty 1, Amari Cooper 2, Calvin Ridley 3, Jerry Jeudy at 4, Julio at 5. This was tough. Julio and Jerry was kind of interchangeable, but when you're looking at their best seasons and what they was doing, what they did there, I think Judy's one. I believe Julio's top 5 in career receiving yards and receptions. He's definitely top 5. Judy's, I think, in the top 3 for career receiving receptions, I believe it was. I have to double back. So just splitting hairs there, I gave Jerry the nod. Cooper's top 5 in almost every receiving statistic there. So that was a no-brainer to be top 2. But I think the outlier between him and Smitty was the Heisman Award. So, and of course, the last list here for the Alabama receivers is Clips. Very similar list. He has Jeudy at 3, which is his highest ranking. Cooper, everyone had pretty much Cooper at 2, but Peso had Cooper at 4, which is interesting. And Smith fell as low as 3. So this, again, great list. Everyone has their own list and reasons behind it, but this is the list for the top 5 all-time receivers at Alabama. And just for those watching in clarification, this is just what they did at Alabama. This is not what who they became in the NFL. Strictly college. So that's the list. Next, we're going to go to LSU. And LSU here, we have Malik Neighbors at 1 for someone's list. Jefferson at 2, Josh Reed at 3, Odell at 4, Brian Thomas Jr. at 5. Then we have Dwayne Bowe at 5, Josh Reed at 4, Malik Neighbors at 3, OBJ at 2, Jamar Chase at 1. Then we have Justin Jefferson at 1, OBJ at 2, Malik Neighbors at 3, Jamar Chase at 4, Dwayne Bowe at 5. Then you have Wendell Davis at 5, Justin Jefferson at 4, Jamar Chase at 3, Malik Neighbors at 2, Josh Reed at 1. Ty, I'll let you take it away. What is your thoughts on this, on the list when you see it?
To me, this by far was the hardest school.
Yes.
And I'm like just seeing everyone else's list, and I'm just like, I know which list is mine. And I'm just not mad at any of these names I see. It just comes down to how you rank them. Because me personally, like, I know you can look at the stats, but sometimes you had to live it. You had to be watching these people play, and that does go into effect. So hardest school to rank. So I'm not surprised we all have different number ones.
Absolutely. This was when I was typing up this list. This gave me the most excitement because I've seen so much variety in each other's list, and I'm happy for everyone that's watching gets to see and hear from me and you our different perspectives on our list once they get revealed. But some names I wanted to shout out that didn't make the list: Michael Clayton, dog. Jarvis Landry is a name that people forget was at LSU terrorizing folks. So I just want to give them some love. There's some other names there. Terrence Marshall, Tristan Keys, Ruben Randall. So many great names. But this is the list. So now, without further ado, I think it's time to reveal the first names. And we're going to start from left to right. And here's Clips' list. So Clips has Malik Neighbors at 1. Some people might feel like that's too early, but if you consider what he was able to do in the time at LSU, is rightfully earned in most cases. Justin Jefferson at 2, Josh Reed at 3, Odell Beckham 4. A name that I was surprised to make the list was Brian Thomas Jr. But shout out to Brian Thomas Jr., man. That's not to say that he doesn't deserve it. I just wasn't expecting him to crack the top 5 all-time list yet. But what's your thoughts on Clips' list?
I wanna know what's his Jamar Chase not being top 5 argument. Because for me, it was. I don't want to give away too much, but to me,
Yeah.
Jamar Chase was a hard one to really rank too. To me personally, I still think it's top 5 because of that season. That season's crazy. That some people don't put up that stats in 3-4 years of college, and he did that in one season.
Good. And then, to be honest, Brandon LaFell's another name that could have made this list easy
Brandon LaFell.
too.
Oh my God!
So definitely want to hear.
It's a hard list.
Definitely want to hear his thoughts on his list, and then to let you continue your point, I'm gonna reveal your list now to kind of gauge into your point you was making with Jamar Chase not cracking the top 5 list.
Yeah, for my list, I think Justin Jefferson, in my personal opinion, is number 1. Then everything else became very hard to rank because I had to put OBJ second just because of what he did. He pretty much sparked this whole wide receiver university thing. Because LSU, we shot out a bunch of receivers that came before him, but they weren't really making noise. Since OBJ went to LSU receivers changed. So just the culture effect had me put OBJ 2. It was more than just stats. Malik Neighbors, he has the stats.
Yeah.
He has the stats. So I can't make a list without having him, top 5. Then Chase, like I said, I understand because it's like, okay, a lot of these other receivers gave LSU 3 years, maybe even 4 years. And but just that one season strictly, in my opinion, puts you in a top 5. Then Dwayne Bowe, I had to give love to Dwayne Bowe.
He's someone that I was like, dang, I wish people got to see him play more, especially this current day generation, because if they seen how physical Dwayne Bowe was, oh my God, especially when he ended up going to Kansas City.
Exactly.
But shout out to Dwayne Bowe, man. Next, we're gonna reveal Peso's list. Peso has Jamar Chase 1, OBJ 2, Malik Neighbors at 3, Josh Reed at 4, Dwayne Bowe at 5. Shout out to Dwayne Bowe, made the list twice, both at 5. We have Chase as low as 4, Malik Neighbors as high as 1, as low as 3, and OBJ consistently around the 2 spot, if not 4. So I guess it's time for me to do some explaining. Here's my list. A very, very beautiful list, I might add. Yes, Wendell Davis at 5, Justin Jefferson at 4. I know I'm going to explain him at 4. I know. So I'll be ready. Jamar Chase at 3, Malik Neighbors at 2, Josh Reed at 1. First things first, I want to make sure I clarify this right now. I made this list very last minute, so there's a mistake here. Chase should be at 4, on my list. I'm meant to do this, and I have Jettas at 3. Now, obviously, it still don't change the fact that Jettas is not hovering around that top spot. But first thing I want to do is show some love to a name that wasn't on no one else's list but mine, and that is none other than Wendell Davis. Wendell Davis was a dog at LSU, All-American consensus, I might add, SEC Player of the Year in 1987, first round pick. But he held a record with the most career catches at LSU until Neighbors broke it in his last year at LSU. So that holds weight to me because you played it in the late 80s and held a record like that at LSU, given the amount of receivers that come through LSU. To hold that record for that long and it just got broken, it matters and holds weight to me. And again, if you watch the tape, man, clean route receiver, great on the yak, good hands. He was my my 5th spot. 4, I have Jamar Chase. I think that goes without saying. I did dock him. I know he had a great season. I docked him and Jettas slightly. I mean, real slightly, because they did play together. So it was kind of like one of those things where pick your poison for the defense. But again, it's a very, very, very slight dock because, I mean, in college, when you're on these Power 5 teams, and Ty, you can attest to this, you're going to be playing with some great players on opposite sides of the field, depending on what side of the ball you're on. So it's not really too much of a knock. But when you look at, I think Neighbors was on one of those teams too, although he came in the year after, but he didn't get playing time during the Chase and Jettas run at LSU. But I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyway, I have Malik Neighbors at 2. I think it's just recency bias for me. I think obviously he has the stats and everything like that, but I think it's a little too soon. I guess I believe if people didn't watch him at LSU, people crown him because what he did last year in the Giants, and I don't think that's fair. But if you go back and watch what Neighbors was doing, it was special. And his ability goes without saying. Great route runner, great on the yak, great contested catcher. So all in all, but for me, splitting hairs between him and the number 1 spot for me, and that is Josh Reed. Josh Reed doesn't get talked about enough, especially when you talk about this whole wide receiver I mean, he was doing this before that was even a thing. He held the receiving yards record at LSU until Neighbors broke his record. And that record, again, it stood for over 20 years. So that holds weight to me. He's also the first LSU receiver to have a over 3,000 receiving yards. And one of his best seasons was when he put up 1,740 in 2001, and then he had 1,100 yards in 2000. But he has one of the best games in LSU history. And, of course, given the degree of difficulty, it was against Alabama, where he caught 19 passes for 293 yards. So, with all of that, all his records that he held that recently got broken, I'm going to give him the nod and give him the top spot. Any last thoughts on this list, Ty, before we move on to Ohio State?
Nah, I think it's good.
All right, let's move on to Ohio State. Here we are. Here's the list. Ty, I'll let you give your thoughts on the list that you see here. And those watching, you have any comments on the list here, let us know.
Oh, my God. Damn, that is recency bias to its finest right there. You see that? Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Again, column B, just like first of all, no Chris Carter on that list is crazy. Crazy. Looking at, all right, but I feel like Yeah, I know that's Peso, so I gotta get Peso to come here and explain all these lists.
Here we go. This will reveal it from now. Yes, it is. It is Peso's
What
list.
do you think about that list?
So first things first, we got Ted Ginn at 5, Santonio Holmes at 4, Marvin Harrison Jr. at 3, David Boston at 2, Jeremiah Smith at 1. There's no way in hell Jeremiah Smith, let alone should be on this list for one season, but at 1 over Chris Carter is nuts to me. I don't care where you personally, it's everyone has their own list, so it is what it is. I don't care personally where you put Chris Carter, as long as he's in the top 5. That's all that matters. Because there's no way, and this goes for anyone's metric, right? The eye test, the stats, ability, whether it's the route, breaking out the routes, hands, yak, all that stuff, contested catching. There's no way those who make a list, in fact, that any of those things in, and not look up and say Chris Carter. So, yes, I'm with you. I would love to hear Peso's explanation on his list. But again, yeah, I don't see how Jeremiah Smith cracks even the top 10, considering it's only won one season. He had a great season, but again, when you do all time, I need to see more than just that one season. One season can help you stand out, sure, like you said when we did the LSU list, but again, you have to have the collective body of work, for me at least, to be considered. But yeah, I'm gonna ask you some questions, man. Do you think Jeremiah Smith should be over someone like Garrett Wilson on this list?
No, no, you have to see more. You have to see more. The thing with Chase, the reason why you give him a pass because that was his last year. That was a difference. But we just seen the start of his career. Like I'm not gonna like you can say, yeah, personally, he's probably my favorite wide receiver to go to University of Ohio State. But top 5, top 10, come on. Come on. I don't know. He has to explain it. So I could be like, oh, I could see that. That's it.
Absolutely. Well, moving on, we have. I'm gonna reveal my list. Chris Carter 1, David Boston 2. I have Marvin Harrison Jr. 3, which is the lowest. Most people didn't have him at 1 or 2. Oh, well, one person has him at 2. Well, actually, he's either in a 2 spot or the 3 spot, so that's pretty consistent. But Michael Thomas at 4, Chris Olave for me at 5. Now, I was torn with Olave because I was really going to put Ibuka at 5 potentially, but I think he just narrowly slipped out my top 5. For me, Chris Carter goes without saying. He is the Air Jordan of receivers at Ohio State as of now. So, but Marvin Harrison at 3, it was tough, but for me, what would factor in was the overall body of work. But again, if people had disagree with me, say he should be 1 or 2, I'm okay with that because Marvin Harrison Jr., his time at Ohio State was phenomenal. 15 career games, over 100 receiving yards in 2001, 2 1,000-yard seasons. Both are records there. He was dominant at Ohio State. It's a lot that goes on, man. The size, the strength, the speed. He had the whole package for Ohio State, so I'm not mad at that. But he started for only 2 seasons, and when you compare him in Boston and Carter, that's kind of where I did a little bit of separation. But that is my list. I'm going to reveal the next list really quickly. We have Clips, Chris Carter 1, Marvin Harrison Jr. 2, Chris Olave 3, Emeka Obuka at 4, San Antonio Holmes at 5. Who was someone I really wanted to put on my list also was San Antonio Holmes. And last but not least, and I'll let you explain your list. Ty, here's your list. Chris Carter, Marvin Harrison Jr., Ted Ginn Jr., Chris Olave, Michael Thomas. That's the one name I was kind of surprised to see make the top 5 all time was Ted Ginn. So I'll let you take it away, Ty, and give you an explanation on your list.
Yeah, I don't have to say much about Chris Carter. That's automatic. Marvin Harrison Jr., I agreed with everything you said. But I don't want to fault the guy and a lot of other wide receivers for just doing 2 years because that just became the norm. You know? So a lot of these other players, like a David Boston, Chris Carter, they had to go spend years in there. You know, some people, like, I think for me, it kind of makes them seem even better because if Marvin Harrison could do that in 2 years, if he stayed an extra year or even did all 4 years, he would have literally been number 1 all time, Ohio State. But I think for what he did in 2 years, he would be number 2 in my personal opinion.
Absolutely. And I want to clarify, he only started for 2 seasons, but to provide context so I don't make it seem like that me being nasty, he was on a team with Chris Olave,
Garrett Wilson, behind all those guys,
and Jackson Smith Enigma. And Jigba, I'm sorry. So the fact that he only got to play 2 full seasons as a starter and still put up the stats he did is still remarkable. So I wanted just to put that out there and clarify so people don't think I'm being nasty. But yes, this is the list for Ohio State. I don't know. It's looking like Ohio State and LSU potentially being that wide receiver. I don't know. I don't think it's a clear gap.
Yeah, I don't think it's a clear gap at all.
But last but not least, we have the Georgia. Let's go Dogs. So here's the list. We have Terrence Edwards, AJ Green, Terrence Edwards all at 1. AJ Green, Terrence Edwards. So we have a swap between 1 and 2 with Terrence Edwards and AJ Green. Then we have some diversity. We got Fred Gibson, Tavares King, Bryce Hunter, Chris Conley, Brock Bowers, Hines Ward, Chris Conley, Brock Bowers, Tavares King, Bryce Hunter, Fred Gibson. I see some tight ends making these lists now. Interesting. Again, there is exceptions to the rule, and I think those 2 tight ends and Newsome and Brock Bowers could be the exceptions. But let's reveal the first list. Oh, I'm doing it wrong. Here we go. Boom. Peso's list. Ty, what's your thoughts?
This is probably the best list he's made today. This is a real list right here. I don't disagree with any of this because I got the same 5. So.
Okay. I was surprised to see Brock Bowers, to be honest. I really was surprised to see his name.
Yeah, but
I know Georgia's probably the least.
For Georgia itself, out of all the other teams, they probably rank like 4th. If we're going to rank all receivers to ever go to each school. So I think it kind of gave them an advantage because, like, dude, how am I not going to mention this tight end with these crazy stats? So it's kind of hard, to be honest.
I mean, but Lindsey Scott, shout out to Lindsey Scott, played on Georgia for the 80s, but he could have definitely got some consideration. I think he's 8th all time in receiving yards in the school history. But again, when you're looking at the top 5, being on the 8th spot might be a little pushback now. I can see that. But Malcolm Mitchell is another name that potentially could have made this list as well. But again, there's so many good names to choose from. So I'm not mad at that at all. Next, we are going to go with clips. Terrence Edwards, AJ Green, Fred Gibson, Tavares King, and shout out Bryce Hunter. Bryce Hunter was a dog at Georgia, man. People don't know who that man is. Please use YouTube in a respectful manner. Search him up. Do some homework. You will not be disappointed at watching Bryce Hunter's tape when he was at Georgia. Last but not least, but next name we're going to remove is Ty's list. So Ty, here's your list. Same, pretty much almost the same order as Pesos, but I'll let you kind of talk about your list 5 through 1 and why you chose these players.
Yeah, to me, this was kind of tricky because the two names I have on my list, Hines Ward and Brock Bowers. For those that don't know, Hines Ward literally technically played one season as a wide receiver. Dude played running back and quarterback. To me, I just feel like he was so good that, like, I don't know. I'm like, if we don't count him fully as a receiver, I'll take him off my list. And same with Brock Bowers for not counting him as a wide receiver. I'll take both of them on my list and swap them with a Bryce Hunter and a Tavares King. But to me, Hines was so amazing that I just feel like him not being receiver kind of is the only reason why he doesn't have these receiver stats, you know? That's pretty much it, because if he was playing receiver all those years, getting all those snaps, he would finish top 5 in all those stats. And like I said with Brock Bowers, it's hard. He got the stats, he had the plays. Like, yeah, he's a tight end, but when you got better numbers than almost every other receiver that went to that school, how can I not put you top 5?
When you say all those things, it makes perfect sense, man. I think him not being able to play receiver as much elevated him. So I'm not mad at that at all. At all. I agree with everything you said. Move right along, man. Here's my list. Tavares King, Bryce Hunter at 4, Fred Gibson at 3, AJ Green 2, Terrence Edwards at number 1. And I'm going to spend some time on Terrence Edwards because a lot of people don't know who this is. He played wide receiver between 1999 to 2002 for Georgia. But here's some things about Terrence Edwards. When he left Georgia, he was the SEC's all-time leading receiver. I'm going to say it again. SEC, the conference. The hell with just the school he was at. He was the all-time conference leader until 2013. No one has better stats than him at Georgia since he was at Georgia as a receiver. And his records, some of his records still hasn't been broken. So he's the creme de la creme when you talk about wide receivers at Georgia. So guys, show him love and respect. And, you know, we're in an era where it's like we're done with the 90s and stuff like that. I want to show love to those who played in that era. So definitely going to give Terrence Edwards his flowers. AJ Green at 2, this goes without saying. Dog, no pun intended. Freddie Gibson, it was tough between him and AJ, but I put him at 3. And a lot of people don't know, he didn't just play football. He played basketball too. He was a multi-sport athlete. So being able to produce on the hardwood and on the football field and put up the numbers he did, yeah, I'm giving him that nod at 3. Bryce Hunter, we already kind of spoke about a little bit, and Tavares King same. But this is my list for Georgia. So now, that concludes the list for the 4 universities for our top 5 wide receivers all time. Now, if you guys enjoyed this list in this segment, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let us know who you think has the best list and what is your list going to look like. And also, if you want to see us do more things like this, where it could be college or NFL, leave a like down below and let us know, man. So, I'm going to stop sharing. And really quickly, we're going to just kind of get prepared for the next segment of the show. and that is the AFC North predictions. It's probably one of the tougher divisions as far as on the field play goes in the NFL. But nonetheless, we're going to give you guys our predictions, and we're going to just hop right into it. So let me share my screen again, and let's get started. Boom. So here we are. Let me zoom in a little bit more. 125. Perfect. Boom. All right. So we have myself, Ty, and Pesos list. Clips did not give me his list just yet, so I'll be adding his in the meantime. But first things first, we're going to reveal Pesos list. So at the bottom, he has the Cleveland Browns going 6-11. At 3, the Steelers going 7-10, which is very, very important here because this means this will be the first losing season under Mike Tomlin. So just keep that in mind. At 2, Peso has the Bengals going 12-5. And at 1, of course, is the Baltimore Ravens at 13-4. Ty, I'll let you take it away first. What is your thoughts on his list? And then we can go to yours right after. And for those watching, I did not get to do my list, so I'm going to do it on the show live. So
I'm very surprised he only has the Browns and Steelers with a 1-game difference. That's pretty much it.
It's pretty much a 1-game difference in both spots.
Yeah, but the top 2,
You can see it.
I can see it. Steelers. I don't think they're gonna do that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other thoughts?
No, that's about it. I can go straight into mine.
Yes, sir. We're going to jump. Oh, wait, let me make sure. Yep, so you're on this side. Cool. All right. Let me know when you're ready. Who you got it last?
I have the Cleveland Browns.
So you got the Browns last. Okay. Let me change that real quick. And what's their record?
I think they're 7-10.
Okay. All right. Next up,
I have the Steelers 9-8 because there is no way I'm gonna let Aaron Rodgers get my boy Mike Tomlin fired by not going over 500. I think they'll be okay, but it's Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, they're gonna lose a bunch of games like the Jets did last year for no reason. Second, I have the Bengals at 13-4.
okay. Bengals 13-4.
And I have the
So
Ravens.
wait, hold on.
Yeah.
What you? All right. Let me scoop my chair in for this one. So wait, what you got the Ravens record being?
14-3.
You got them winning 14. Well, they are a regular season team, but who? 14-3, still 14-3. Like that's a lot.
Yeah, well, when you look at their schedule, I think there's a lot of games where, like you said, they're a regular season team, so they're gonna get their change back. So I got them beating the Bills and the Chiefs this year in the regular season.
Okay.
Playoffs is a whole different story. But I think they don't. I don't think they drop a game to the Browns. I think they sweep the Browns finally. And I think they only split with the Bengals. And I still think they can sweep the Steelers. But usually, their losses usually come within the division. They only have to worry about the big name teams because Lamar always beats the NFC. So you don't have to worry about that. So you
Mm-hmm.
only really have to worry about what? The Bills and the Chiefs. Those are the only other two teams. So I think they're gonna beat both of them. That's why I got them 14-3.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Great, great list. Now I'm gonna do something that's tough, and that's make my list live on the show. So let me just reset all of this. I'm just gonna do it live so everyone can see. 'Cause I did not have time to finish my list. I was conflicted and had to finish up some things. So I'm going to do this live. So starting off with the bottom, let's look through the Cleveland Browns schedule. So week 1, they're home against the Bengals. I'll say that's a loss. On the road against Baltimore, loss. At home against Green Bay, I think that's a win. So that's a win. At Detroit, a loss. So right now we're at 3 losses. Minnesota, they're lost. They're at home now, but this will be a loss. At Pittsburgh, I believe they win. They get a win at some point. So this will be the first loss. They will split against Pittsburgh, so they'll lose here and then win in the end of December. At home against Miami, that's a win. At New England, loss. At the Jets, win. So how many wins is that so far? Is that 3 or 4?
I was like 4.
4. Okay, I just want to make sure So I got the Jets I'm back at the Ravens. Okay, loss. Vegas, win. That's 5. San Fran, I don't know. San Fran is a question mark because I feel like they can easily win this game.
Also, Kenny Pickett just got hurt, so
And I feel like they could easily lose this game. Loss. This is a loss. Titans, loss. I think Cam Ward shows up and shows out.
nah, Shador's beating him.
Shador's not even going to be QB2, unfortunately.
Bro, Kenny Pickett just got hurt.
So that means Dylan Gabriel's going to be QB3. You know I don't agree with it, but I'm thinking about how politics is being played. But that's a whole other conversation. Because if it was up to us, Shador would be starting. If not, Deshaun Watson. So when he's healthy. Moving along, I think they're at 6 wins? Let me count. I have them winning. Yeah, I think it's 6 wins.
Yeah.
All right. Loss at Tennessee. At Chicago, loss. Buffalo, loss. They already had them winning Pittsburgh. And then the flex game against Cincinnati, they lose. I think they split. So 6 wins, 6-11. So
Makes
Browns,
sense.
6-11. They can easily go 7-10 though, because I think they can win that San Fran game.
I think they could beat the Patriots.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not mad at that either. They can go 8-9. I can see that. So I'll say 6-11 is my record for the Browns, but their ceiling could be like 8 to 9 wins max. Okay, now let me pull up the schedule, and I have the schedule up, but it's not shown on the screen. I'm going to pull up let's go Bengals. We're gonna go Bengals. Look at their schedule. So I already had them losing at Cleveland, so that's 1 loss. Jacksonville, they beat Jacksonville. Minnesota at Minnesota. I believe they lose that game because of their defense. Even though Shamar Stewart signed his rookie deal. So that's a good thing. Now they just got to pay Trey, and then they should be in good business. But at Denver, loss. So right now they're 1-3 to start off. Okay. Versus Detroit. That damn defense, man. But it's like I think you can't get any worse than what you did last year. I'm gonna go win here. I think they win in against Detroit, so that's 2 wins. Green Bay loss. Pittsburgh win. New York win. Chicago win. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 wins. Okay, good. At Pittsburgh, loss. New England win. Baltimore win. So that's 6. Buffalo loss. And then they win at the last 3 games. 9 wins? No, I don't see them doing 9 wins.
There's no way they start 1-4.
No, I had them going 1-3. I had them losing to Cleveland based on what I did for Cleveland's schedule, because the first game's at Cleveland. Then I had Jacksonville win, Minnesota, Denver loss. And then I had them I think they might beat Detroit, actually. Yeah, because I was torn with the Detroit game. They're at home. You know what? I'll put Bengals. I think the Bengals will be the second team in the division. I'm going to put Bengals at 11-5. I think they go 11-5. And again, this is off the top, you guys. This is not. I'm not having time to really think about
You
it.
mean 12-5 or 11-6?
Oh yeah, I'm my bad. 12-5. Yep. Thinking about the old schedule. 12-5. Boom. So that's it right there. Next, we're gonna do the Steelers. You pull up the Steelers schedule right here. Steelers. And I'm gonna share my screen. Actually, I'm gonna let some people can see the schedule, so everybody can see it. That boy Ramsey, look at Ramsey in that black and yellow, man. Beautiful thing to see. All right, here's the schedule. At New York, that's a win. Versus Seattle, win. At New England, they have a weak schedule to start off. Somewhat. At New England, they should win that game. I'm going to give them a win. So they should start off, realistically, they could start off 3-0. I don't trust Justin Fields in that offense just yet. Seattle has Sam Darnold. I got to see it to believe it. New England at home. There's a lot of hype and everything surrounding Drake May in that offense. I think Chris Gonzalez in that defense should be pretty good. Gonzalez is going to be traveling with DK, and I think he gave one of the few touchdowns of the last season to DK when they came from Seattle to New England. So I'm looking at that. And then I think they lose to Minnesota. So 3-1. Okay. Cleveland win. Cincinnati loss. Green Bay win. Colts win. Chargers. Yo, their schedule's kind of light. I'm not going to lie to you. But it's also Aaron Rodgers. Okay. Cleveland win. Cincinnati loss. Green Bay. I'm going to say Green Bay win. Indy win. Chargers, I think they also win. Bengals, they lose. At Chicago, see, Chicago is torn for me because I know he's not in Green Bay no more, but he almost never loses in Chicago, no matter what uniform he has on. So I'm going to say that's a win. Buffalo lost, Baltimore lost, Miami win, Detroit and Cleveland lost, and they lose to Baltimore again. Oh, so how many wins is that? Is that 8 or 9?
Nah, I think you gave them 10
10? Yeah, I'll say
because
10.
you had them going 3-1 the first
Yep.
4. You just had them losing to Cincy. You had them losing to Detroit and Cleveland,
And I had
Baltimore
them
and
losing the
Buffalo.
last 3 games of the season too.
Oh, they're losing the last 3 straight.
Yeah, I had them losing to Detroit, Cleveland, and Baltimore. I think Baltimore sweeps Pittsburgh, which is saying something because that almost rarely happens between those two teams. And then I think they split with Cleveland.
Yeah, it's like 10-7.
All right. And last but not least, we got the Baltimore Ravens. Let's pull up their schedule. All right. At Buffalo, win. Cleveland, win. Detroit, win. Kansas City, loss. Houston, win. Rams,
Loss.
this is but they're at home though. This is tough. I gotta come back to that game. Damn. Chicago, win. Miami, win. Minnesota. I know Lamar don't lose in the NFC, but damn, that's a win. Because I think JJ McCarthy makes a rookie mistake in that game, potentially. At Cleveland, loss. Jets, win. Cincinnati, loss. Pittsburgh, win. Cincinnati, win. New England, win. Green Bay, win. Pittsburgh, win. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I had them losing this one. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And back to this Rams game.
Yeah, you either got them going 14-3 or 13-4.
Yeah. Back to the Rams game. Damn. They're at home.
I'm gonna be honest. The last time the Rams went to Baltimore,
I think they lose. I think the
got
Rams lose this
smacked.
game.
So yeah,
I think the Rams, but I'll tell you this: all my people that bet, do not bet on this game on a money line. I would not bet on this game at all. Now, there's injuries involved, and yes, you might have a been, but just as it stands, like that defense with Jared Verse and the crew, man, they're gonna get after. They're gonna get after Lamar and that crew, and not to mention, Baltimore's O-line was not as good as people may think it was last season. Like it was solid, but it was not what you would think of Baltimore O-line, especially with the run game that they have. So that's why I'm thinking about it. And I know we got Jair Alexander. We got Kyle Hamilton and that crew. But Stafford knows how to deal that ball, man. Especially when you got Tay Adams now, along with Puka. Like, that's a tough game. But for episode purposes, I'm gonna say Ravens go. I'm gonna say they go 13-4. I think they lose that game. And a field goal. Because the Ravens, one thing about the Ravens, they will lose a game they ain't supposed to lose. They good for that. They'll win majority of their games, but they're gonna be some games where it's like, what are y'all doing? So that's my list. I will share my screen so everyone can see the final list for the AFC North. So here it is right here. We have tie 14-3 Ravens, Bengals 13-4, Steelers 9-8, Browns 7-10. Peso has the Browns 6-11, Steelers 7-10, Bengals 12-5, Ravens 13-4. I have Ravens going 13-4, Bengals 12-5, Steelers 10-7, Browns 6-11. So this is our AFC North predictions. Next week we have, last but not least, is the AFC South. But because of the season starting, we're probably going to do two divisions next week to kind of speed up the process. So we're probably going to do the AFC South next week, and we're going to start with an NFC team. So stay tuned for that as well. Now that's going to wrap up today's episode. So if you made this far, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on our list and what other things you to see on the channel. Ty, is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up the show?
No, I'm just ready to start betting on some football.
Yes, sir. And we will be doing our fantasy draft again soon, right before the season starts. So stay tuned for that. It might be a 4-man league. It might be maybe a 5 or a 6. But stay tuned for the details. But we'll be doing that draft live again on the show like we did last season. So hope everyone stays safe and blessed. Have a great rest of your day and Sunday. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.
Great.